My husband stole my grandfather's support money for me while I was pregnant and broke. I found out in my hospital room, holding my newborn, when my grandfather looked at my worn shirt and asked, "Wasn't $250,000 a month enough?" A day later, my husband was served, his investors panicked, and my mother-in-law started screaming like I'd set her house on fire. My parents died when I was 9, so my grandfather raised me in Savannah. Quiet old money. He wasn't warm, but he was solid. When I married Mark, Grandpa wanted me protected, so he quietly sent money every month. I just didn't know it was going straight into Mark's hands. Mark was the charming finance guy. He remembered my favorite wine. He opened doors. He also insisted we streamline finances with a joint account he managed. Bills became confusing. My paycheck disappeared into expenses. Somehow I was clipping coupons while he bought suits. When I got pregnant, things got tight. Tight enough that at 6 months, I picked up overnight cleaning shifts to keep the lights on. Mark called me industrious and kissed my forehead like he deserved a medal. His mom started dropping by more, commenting on my kitchen, my body, my everything. Packages showed up for Mark. Expensive ones. He said he was doing well lately. I wanted to believe him. I did. 3 days after I gave birth, Grandpa came to the hospital. He held my daughter for a minute, then stared at me. Same shirt, dark circles, that haunted look you get when you're doing math nonstop. He pulled a chair close. "Claire," he said, "wasn't the money enough?" "What money?" I whispered. "The $250,000 I send every month, since your wedding." My stomach dropped. "Grandpa, I never got it." His face went empty. Then he made one call. "Get me Patricia, now." Then the door opened. Mark walked in, laughing, with his mother right behind him. Shopping bags hung off their arms. They froze when they saw Grandpa. Grandpa didn't raise his voice. "Where's my granddaughter's money?" Mark blinked. "What money?" "Don't," Grandpa said. Flat. He laid it out like a board meeting. Transfers into the household account. Mark listed as manager. Me with no solo access. I turned to Mark. He wouldn't look at me. I did the math out loud because I needed to hear it. 3 years. That's 8 million. Mark finally met my eyes. No shame, just calculation. "You don't understand what it takes to maintain our position." I barked out a laugh. "Whose position?" "I scrubbed toilets pregnant, Mark." His mom stepped in. "Edward, you'll ruin him." Grandpa cut her off. "He robbed his pregnant wife." Then he looked at me. "Pack a bag. You and the baby are coming home." That night I was back in my old bedroom with my newborn on my chest, realizing I'd been drowning inside a lie and calling it marriage. The next morning, Patricia, my grandfather's attorney, showed me the paper trail. Grandpa's deposits. Then chunks moved within days into Mark's private account. Then the bonus round. Money pushed offshore. And then the part that made my skin go cold. A transcript from my mother-in-law's smart speaker backup. Mark's voice. "She'll never find out. Old Edward trusts me, and if he does, Claire will take my side. She always does." Patricia filed for fraud and financial abuse, and when Mark got served, she also made sure the right people heard about it. Mark had just landed a big investor deal. By lunchtime, it was gone. Mark called, texted, begged. I watched his name flash while I fed my daughter. He tried to win in public at a charity dinner, telling a room full of donors I'd had a postpartum breakdown and abandoned him. That lie backfired hard. People called offering to testify. Patricia added defamation. The judge granted an emergency protective order fast, because evidence doesn't care about charm. After the story hit the news, Mark's world collapsed. Investors froze him out. Employees quit. His mom called me raging, then pleading. When she tried the good man speech, I said, "You were on his card, the one funded by the money meant to keep my lights on." She hung up. Months later, I signed a lease 3 blocks from my grandfather. I went back to work part-time. My daughter got older, louder, and way too smart. Grandpa apologized for trusting Mark. I told him the truth. That's what made it work. We both didn't look. Mark left me one last voicemail, perfectly written, all mistakes and forgiveness. I saved it for my kid, not for him. Because men like Mark always think the next version of themselves will finally convince you. He said I always took his side. He was right until I wasn't, and it only takes once to make always a lie. What would you have done in my place? Drop your thoughts in the comments.